Right then, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, you see by the title, I'm just going to go through a physique update after this health phase, which we've just finished. So, thought I'd do a physique update, thought I'd do a physique update now, and then one after our second push phase. So, one now, and then in the next 20 odd weeks, I'll do another physique update. Just check this mic's on. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do today. And then now I'm just literally going to talk about a little debrief on the health phase, how it went, plan for this next push, which I think I went through in the last time I was walking on a treadmill on here, but the health phase is finished now. So we've done 6 weeks, I think. Maybe 7 weeks if you're going to count this deload that I'm going to go into. So 6 weeks of health phase training, which the whole goal when I started the health phase was to hold all my numbers. Obviously progress where I could, but the main goal was to hold numbers. So it would set me up in a very, very good place when I start this push phase that we're going to go into, where I would be in a position of just pretty much going off where we left the push phase off. Obviously, I'm starting in probably even better place because I have progressed majority of my movements, even if it's just by a small bit, maybe it's, a couple of reps. I'm in a position where progression has taken place, and I'm going to start this push phase in a really good place. That was my goal, was to not drop any load from any movement, and continue the progression, because I'm very big. I like following progressive overload. I always have. I don't know if I always will, but right now, I'm that person who is married to the logbook. I'm not afraid to say that. I am. I've done every single session since I was 17, so for the last 8-9 years. Even when I wasn't really following bodybuilding as seriously as I am now, I still logged everything down. Even through my powerlifting days, I did 2 years of strength training. That was all logged. So everything I've done in the gym really has been logged and noted down. So I like to follow that process. And with that process means writing down sessions week to week, which means writing down numbers week to week. The last thing you want to see in the logbook is load going down, or reps going down, or having to cross numbers off because you haven't hit a set. So I am very anal about that kind of thing. So when it comes to a health phase, it's a bit difficult because obviously when you're in a health phase, some of the time you want to focus on recovery. And the main point of a health phase is obviously to bring blood markers back in check, get the body to freshen up a bit. But in a sense, I was actually, or have been, working harder. I wouldn't say harder. I'd say you're still working at the same intensity as I was in the push phase, because I'm trying to hold numbers with less food. Obviously being on TRT, which makes a difference. Being on TRT for the last 6 weeks. Which is going to make a difference to how training is going to go. I've dropped about 5 to 6 kilo of body weight. Massive, huge difference. When I drop weight, I see a big difference in training, especially my push movements. For example, this time last week I was probably 2 kilo lighter. Came into my delt session yesterday, 2 kilo heavier, and I was back on off-season numbers. Yes, there were some movements that I had to drop down just from a safety point of view, like the Smith machine, high incline Smith machine press. I just had to take off 7.5 kilo aside. But I put that back on yesterday because I knew weight had gone up, which I knew movements would go up, follow, because at the end of the day, weight moves weight. And 2 kilo for me is a big difference in how I feel, how my fullness is like, how my training goes. So yesterday, back to putting the 7.5 kilo back on the 3 plates aside on the shoulder press, and nailed that with my off-season numbers. So that's at the end of my health phase. That was my last session of my health phase. 6 weeks later, still holding numbers on it. But I don't really know where I was going with that. Kind of sidetracked. But anyway, yeah, progressive overload is what I kind of follow and don't really like to veer off in the slightest. But yeah, we're now done. 6-7 weeks done of this health phase. We're going into a deload week now. So deload week next week. Not 100% sure what I'm doing for the deload week. Sometimes I train like 2 to 3 times a week and just push blood, or I have a full week off training, because I struggle to just push blood, come in and push blood. It's a hard task when all I know is taking everything to failure and beyond that. But I want to see what Luke says. I need to probably talk to him today and just see what he wants me to do next week, so I know what to do tomorrow. Because I got my check-in tomorrow, but I train fasted, so I'll get my check-in feedback after I train or not train. So I need to know what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm expecting not to train next week, so kind of expect the worst. But that would mean a full week of training, so, which is good in a sense because it means that I won't be pushing anything at all. It gives my body a full week off. Don't remember the last time our last deload was in probably post-show, so October, the last week of October. So it's been a while since we had like a little break, and we've been pushing pretty much since then. You know, and if you're taking training to absolute fatigue and intensity is as high as it can be on every single training session, you know, you should be able to take, or you should need deloads and breaks from training. You know, you can't, I've said this before, you can't redline yourself every single week. You know, my goal on a day-to-day training basis is to redline myself and push beyond what I'm capable of, because that's what we're in here to do. We're in here to progress, we're in here to challenge ourselves. You know, my goal, another goal in training is to, every single time I go into the gym, is to do something I've never done before. Whether that's increasing reps, you know, looking at progressive overload, but that is my goal. When we're in the push phase and food's going up, body weight's going up, I expect myself to be doing something I've never done before. It should happen, you should expect that. If you're not, something's off, sleep's off, hydration's off, maybe you miss a meal somewhere. Should be progressing massively. If these things are all progressing, you should be progressing as well. Again, don't know where I'm going with that, but going off in tangents. I'm going to keep this short. I've already done 9 minutes of talking, so. But I've done my cardio today, 20 minutes, just 2 sessions this week of cardio. Nothing too crazy, just getting the heart rate to like 130, 128 to 130. Keeping that for 20 minutes. And then I normally knock out about 20 minutes of steps as well. But I get my posing done on a Sunday as well, which is why we're going to do a physique update, which I'll show you after this. Definitely finishing this health phase looking tighter, slightly flatter, you know, for reasons just being less full. We're being on TRT and things like that, and carbs being taken down, and just food being down a bit, you know. Your maximal fullness is when both your training day and rest days are both in a surplus. You know, that's when you see crazy pumps and crazy fullness, but I'm kind of just been maintaining weight for the last 6 weeks. Weight hasn't really bounced up, hasn't really dropped down. It's kind of just fluctuated between, you know, I'm at like 130 right now, 130 kilo. It's about 280 odd, high 280s I think. But it's fluctuated from like 127 to 131. That's kind of where I've been for the last 6 weeks, which I knew was going to happen because we haven't touched food in this whole hell phase, and so food's only been reduced in this hell phase. So well, I'm going to leave it there because I'm just going to ramble. Get these steps done, get in the posing room, get some rounds done, show you what we're looking like, and that should be us, guys. I'll probably do an outro in the posing room. So yeah, that was the physique update. Obviously not the prettiest, but that's a real video kind of what we're looking like right now. And I'm not asked about how we really look in this push phase. You know, you're not supposed to look like what you would look like on stage, because we're not trying to do that right now. That's not a goal in mind. I don't even have a goal for competing yet. We don't have a show. We don't have a year. We don't even know what the year is going to be that we're going to be competing. So, you know, for me to even be bothered about how we're kind of looking right now is there's no point. It's always a bit weird when you can see me on that mirror. There we go. So yeah, you know, the only goal right now is to add as much size as possible, as much muscle. Obviously we want to stay in some condition. As you saw, I've still got a few lines on my glutes. That is good, it's a good sign. I tend to hold fat pretty much all over quite evenly. I think I hold most of it in my back, that I can see anyway. And obviously some in the midsection as well, it's kind of obviously, is where us men hold it. So it is what it is. I'm in this push phase right now to add as much muscle as possible, and to do that, you need to put size on. You need to get to a point where you are uncomfortable, and you know, this is an end of health phase as well. So I'm fairly happy with where we are right now. You know, all I can do is carry on pushing on, keep adding size, keep adding muscle, keep adding new tissue, you know, doing it that way. So that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there, to be honest. I'm pretty satisfied with what we've said, and I don't think there's much else to say. But yeah, next video will be, I'll kind of run through of what we're going to go into this push phase, what the plan is, how many weeks, like what training's going to look like, what nutrition's going to look like. But I'll tell you this now, so I can say it out loud. You know, I want at least another 10 kilo. To be honest, 10 kilo, yeah, 10 kilo. That's kind of what I want right now. That we can put on in the next. I think we'll put on more than that, to be honest, because we've got a 20-week stint. This last push phase, I think we did. I can't remember what we started at. I can't remember. It must have been somewhere close to like 8 to 10 kilo, I think we put on. Yeah. So we'll see. But anyway, we'll leave it there. I'm gonna get changed, go home for a nap, a meal one, and then I'll probably see you next week for the push phase 2 update.